story of wool, the warmest fabric in the world, began millions of years ago with the prehistoric people. They used the skin of animals they hunted for food to clothe themselves. But they still had no protection from cold. But soon they realized that animal skin covered with fur or fleece was warmer than plain hide. Have you ever wondered why? The hairy fibers present on the skin of woolly animals have the tendency to trap a lot of air. Air is a bad conductor of heat. As a result, trapped air does not allow the body heat to escape. A warm envelope is created around the body, which keeps it warm. Wool is mainly obtained from sheep. It is called sheep wool. Sheep wool is the most commonly used wool in the world. In India, there are several breeds of sheep found. The most popular breeds are Lohi, Rampur, Busher, Nali, Bakharwal, Marwari, and Patanwadi. Wool obtained from these sheep differs in texture and color. It can be used to make carpets, shawls, and hosiery. Apart from sheep, wool is also obtained from other animals like goat, yak, camel, llama, and the alpaca. Click each wool-yielding animal to learn about the wool it yields. In India, wool is obtained from the Angora goats and the Kashmir goats. Angora goats are found in Jammu and Kashmir, while Kashmir goats are found mainly in Kashmir. Kashmir wool is one of the finest wools that is used to make fine pashmina shawls. Yaks are mainly found in Tibet and Ladakh. They yield a variety of wool that is very soft and warmer than sheep wool. Yak wool is used to make sweaters, coats, and blankets. Camels are found in desert regions of Asia and other countries. Camel wool is durable and is used to make winter clothing and footwear. Llama and alpaca are two wool-yielding animals found in South America. Wool obtained from these animals is lightweight, soft, and warm. Sheep rearing, which involves raising and breeding sheep, is extensively done all over the world. Let's visit a sheep farm to understand this process. Sheep are herbivorous animals. They mainly feed on grass and leaves. They can also be fed pulses, oil cakes, jowar, and corn. Now, let's observe the fleece of a sheep closely. It is made of two types of fibers: the coarse, thick beard-like coat of hair at the top, and the softer, fine underhair that is close to the skin. Wool fibers are usually made from the fine underhair. Some breeds of sheep have only the fleece made of fine hair. Such sheep are specially reared to yield better quality wool. This is called selective breeding. Farmers identify sheep with better quality of fleece. These sheep are then used to parent more sheep with the same characters as their parents. The making of wool from fleece involves a series of steps. In the first step, the fleece of sheep is peeled off along with the first layer of its skin. This process is called shearing. Are you wondering whether shearing is painful to the sheep? Don't worry. Just like how you don't get hurt when you go for a haircut, the sheep also doesn't feel any pain while shearing its fleece. Nature has provided sheep with fleece as protection from cold. Hence, shearing is done during summer so that the sheep can survive without their fleece coat. In the second step, the sheared fleece is washed in tanks or in machines to remove dust, grease, and other impurities. This process is called scoring. The third step involves separating the scoured, hairy skin on the basis of its texture and quality. This is called sorting and is done in factories. The fleece of sheep also has a few fluffs that are called burrs. In the fourth step, these burrs are picked out from the sheep hair, scoured and dried. The color of the fur coat of goats and sheep is usually black, white, or brown. So, in the fifth step, the fibers obtained are dyed in the required colors. The sixth, which is the last step, involves straightening and combing the fibers. These fibers are then rolled into yarns. The woolen yarns are then sorted as per their size. The longer ones are used for sweaters, and the shorter ones are weaved to make woolen fabrics. Silk is one of the oldest and finest animal fibers known to man. The history of this lustrous fiber is both enchanting and illustrious. It was first developed nearly 5,000 years ago in China. Gradually, other countries also began developing silk. Let's begin by tracing the history of silk. Legend has it that silk was accidentally discovered by Empress Si-Lung-Chi, wife of Emperor Huang-Ti. One day, when the Empress was sipping tea under a mulberry tree, a cocoon fell into her cup. It slowly began to unravel into shimmering threads. She soon discovered that its source were the worms that lived on the mulberry tree. She developed the process of cultivating silkworms to develop silk fiber and weaving it into a fabric. The Chinese guarded the secret of silk making for thousands of years. Later, due to increase in world trade, people in European and Asian countries began silk production. During the 13th century, the route on which the silk trade began came to be known as Silk Route. Let us take a look at the life history of the silk moth. The female moth lays eggs. These eggs hatch and produce larvae called caterpillars. These are also called as silkworms. These worms feed extensively on leaves and grow in size. After a certain period, the caterpillars stop eating. They rest for a day or so. Next, they begin secreting a cocoon of silk fiber. They swing their head, forming the figure of number 8. The silk fiber is made up of protein. It hardens on contact with air. The caterpillars cover themselves completely with the cocoon. The silkworm changes into pupa and finally emerges out of the cocoon as a silk moth. The adult female moth lays eggs, and so the cycle continues. The controlled rearing or farming of silkworm for production of silk is called sericulture. The quality of silk produced depends on the leaves fed to the worms. It also depends on the environmental and hygienic conditions maintained in the silk farm. Hence, silkworm farmers have to take great care when storing silk moth eggs. When the eggs hatch into silkworms, farmers feed them shredded mulberry leaves. When the worms stop eating, they are ready to spin cocoons. At this stage, the worms are shifted into bamboo trays. These trays have small racks or twigs to which the cocoons can get attached. A wide variety of silkworms can be reared to obtain silk of different texture and quality. The most widely reared silkworm is Bombyx mori, a moth that lives on the mulberry tree. Silk is also produced from other variety of moths, like the tusser, the eri, and the muga. Apart from being the smoothest and finest of all fibers, silk is also the strongest natural fiber known to man. It is also extremely elastic and can be stretched to almost 25% of its original length. Before the silk moths are ready to emerge, the cocoons are put in boiling water or kept in sunlight. This is done to keep the cocoon intact. The fibers separate out due to heat. As the fiber from a single cocoon is very thin, fibers from around 10 cocoons are wound together on a spool using special machines. This is called as reeling of silk. The raw silk fibers go through a series of processes and are spun into silk threads. Weavers use these threads to weave silk fabrics.